How's it going, guys? George Ng with Team LNG KW. I hope you guys are doing good today. Again, we were not home this week, so again, I apologize. My goal is to do this post every Monday for you guys. However, if I'm not available or if I'm out of town, I do like to make sure that I do get this post as soon as I can. So, wanted to get this to you guys today. Real estate market update. What is it doing today as of the current market, the last 24 hours? I looked at some of the numbers, but we're going to look at it live together so that I can break the number down with you guys. And at the same time, I will be using this new platform, really still new to this platform, to post into two of my sites, into Facebook and YouTube. I've been posting Facebook for the last 3 years. However, the case, you may or may not have seen some of my posts. Local real estate agent. I have a real estate team here with KW Roseville out of Minnesota. I work with a lot of different type of buyers and sellers. However, the case, my specialty is to really help people understand what the real estate market is doing. Is it a good time to buy and sell? What are the rates doing? If you're trying to buy the first time, how does that happen? My goal is to help people change their life using real estate, not just to buy or sell. Okay. There's so many things that go into the decision of buying and selling or investing in real estate that I want to use everything I've learned in my 10 years of real estate, or to be honest, like 13, 14 years, because the first few years you learn, you coach, you get mentorship from other people, you fail a lot and you learn. And hopefully I can take these lessons to help you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I appreciate you guys and your time. I am local to Minnesota market, but I do a lot of referrals in other states. I do have connection with a lot of agents. KW is in 30 to 40 countries. We have over 150,000 agents worldwide. So we are the largest broker in the world. And again, my goal to really help you guys here is not to give you all the right answers or wrong answers. For every market is going to be different. However, my goal is to help you guys understand what are the numbers doing right now, what decisions could you make, and how does it affect you 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now, depending on what you do with what you know as of today. Okay, so let's jump into this and let's look at the numbers. Again, this is still new to me. So again, I apologize, guys. I'm still learning how to use some of these tools. But hopefully, it can only be better and your experience can be better. So let's dive into the numbers. And if you're seeing this later, you will still get the same information. This will be saved on my YouTube page because Facebook will delete after 30 days. So a lot of people are missing out. Okay. So let's jump into this, guys. So hopefully you guys can see this. Please comment in either direction, wherever that box is. Again, I'm still new to this. I don't see a lot of this stuff. However the case, comment and like and share. But let's dive into this. So with this new platform, I'm posting to two different places, and also I can share the camera with you guys so that you guys can see the data. So I'm not just making up these numbers, guys. Okay, this is real time. This is market update as of like right now. Okay, so coming soon, you got 141 new listings. You have 165. Back on market, you have 15. Price decreases, you have 186. Wow, that's a large number for midweek here. Okay, price increases, you have 12. Pendings, you have 130. Close, you have 114. Cancellation, you have 60, and expired, you have 9. Okay, so what does all this number mean? Okay, so if you knew nothing about real estate, or if you're not buying or selling, or if you don't even know what I'm talking about, that's okay. All right, that's why we're here to explain all these things so that you have a better sense of understanding, so you can make better choices in your own life and for whatever you're trying to achieve. So if we just look at the first one, coming soon, 141, this number is not a big deal. I would say the more number the better, because it gives you more selection as a buyer. However, some properties do not go on coming soon. They go on what's called a withhold, and they just pop out when the seller is ready to sell. Okay, I do a lot of withholds. They just pop out. Coming soon, you have to hold it for X amount of time. You must have photos visible. Again, for some of the sellers that I work with, it doesn't work for them. However the case, coming soon means you can market this online. You just cannot present it to other people before they go live. I'm still confused. Sometimes I see coming soon, and before they go live, they're already sold. Again, I'm not here to police anyone. However, I don't know how that's the case. I don't know anybody that should buy a house without walking it physically to know what you're buying. However the case, I have seen some that go coming soon and they get sold, which means you could sell to your own office. You can't sell across brokers, okay? I don't make these rules. These are the rules set up in your MLS or in your local state or city. So check with your broker. That's how you know what you can and can't do. New listings, you have 165, which means this went live in the last 24 hours. Um, for Wednesday, I would say that's a great number. Most properties you're going to see live really on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday now. In the past, we don't see a lot of Saturday because that's the time people are walking properties already. But ever since COVID happened, a lot of people are working out of home, and so they're still home with their kids. It's hard for them to just pack up and move. They may have dogs or cats they have to put into cages. So I would say that it's common now more to see listings on the weekend, but I would say most properties are coming out still Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. So for 165 to come out on a Tuesday, Wednesday here, that's actually a great number. Back on market 15 means that these did not close or something went wrong during inspection or buyers got cold feet or they couldn't negotiate between buyer and seller. So these came back on the market. Price decreases, that's a larger number for 186 on a Wednesday, which again, I'm not surprised. We are mid-July here, 7/23, so we're mid-July here. In our state of Minnesota, most people are vacationing and traveling in July. August, they're preparing to go back to school. September, everybody's back in school. So I would say that seeing the price decrease tells me as an agent that sellers need to sell and they're reducing prices so you have a better negotiation on price and the terms. So again, any market is good if you understand the data. Okay, that's why we're breaking down the numbers for you guys. Price increases 12. That's not a big deal for me. Sometimes people are listing a price on coming soon, and when they actually come live, the price is either higher or lower. So sometimes they guess a price low, and then they may raise it a little bit depending on the comps that they're looking at. Okay, pending is 130. That's a great number. Again, this is for a Wednesday, and again, this could be they just saw the property yesterday and they're pending, or maybe they saw it over the weekend. They finally agree and they're pending. So that's a good number. Close 114. Again, that seems a little bit low. However, the closing numbers are per every 24 hours. Okay. So again, most of the time I would say your closes don't happen midweek. They're happening like Tuesdays or Thursdays or Mondays or Fridays sometimes. A lot of midweek, like Wednesday, even Thursday. I mean, Wednesday, I would say in particular, Wednesday and Fridays, people usually don't close. It's kind of middle of the week. However, Thursdays are popular. Tuesdays might be popular because Mondays are usually holidays. Fridays also fall on holidays. Okay. And plus, if you can't close Friday, you're going into the weekend. Now you have to wait till the Monday. And if the Monday is a holiday, you're waiting till Tuesday. So Fridays are not very common. Wednesday, I would say, are probably more common, Wednesday and Thursday, but Tuesday and Thursdays, I would say, probably are the most common. So again, nothing special here. Cancellation is kind of high for 60 in the last 24 hours. However, the case, I would say that the numbers are fairly common with what I've seen in the last year or so here. Nothing very new there, except for the fact that the price decreases are higher than the new listings coming out that same day in 24 hours, which again, it means that you have more deals you could buy, more whatever properties are out there are not selling. Either they're listed too high or they're taking a price cut. Great negotiation for a buyer. Okay, so it just means that it's still a good option for a buyer. So let me close this out since we don't need this anymore. So again, let me answer the few questions that I put in here. I hope you guys can see it at the bottom of the screen. The system that I'm using, I don't see that. Okay, so I did put some questions in here. I don't see that in here. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing yet. Okay, however the case, this is still something new as a platform, so I'm getting used to this. So I wrote down a couple of the notes, not the notes, but the questions that I put in here that sometimes I get from people. Sometimes I see people post about this. Okay, so I want to answer this live on camera with you guys so that you understand my background and my knowledge and how I help my clients get through this, so that hopefully you could take something away to utilize. If you're one of my clients, then it's more knowledge that you can see that we talk about. Maybe it's something we didn't talk about in person. Because again, some of these things come up based on what the market is doing per every single week. Okay, so the rates, what is the rate doing as of like today? I checked this morning. It dropped a little bit the other day and it came up a little bit. However, I think it's sitting right around 6.7, 6.8. Give or take, if you're FHA versus conventional is going to be higher. FHA is going to be a little bit lower. If it's 6.8 or so, I would say FHA is probably like 6.5 to 6.6. It's usually a little bit lower than a conventional loan. However, I can't say that that's really bad and I can't say that's really great. Obviously, we've seen better. However, the middle area for the APR, if you don't know, if you study the last 30 plus years, it's always been between 6% and 9%, is always been the average based on the data that NAR pulls, which is the study of real estate, the National Board of Realtors. Um, it documents this for the last 30 plus years that whenever they started documenting, it's always been between 6 and 9%. We are still in the middle, guys. We're kind of in that middle ground. Okay. Will we love to see it drop? Yes, but then the price will go up because people keep bidding houses. So understand that this is done by the feds because they want to keep a balance. Okay. So that's whatever it is. So don't focus on just, hey, I got to have a certain rate before I buy. Base it on your timeline, your price point, your affordability, your life situation needs. Does it make sense right now when you're purchasing? Base it on your own situation and not what people are just telling you. Okay. Second question is, what does the market look like currently? Based on the numbers we just talked about, I would say that the market is still moving. You still have pendings, you still have closing, you still have properties that are coming out, you have properties that are getting reduced. I would still say that it's a pretty functionable market that is still doing very well. Sellers that I work with are still selling very good, and we're still getting list price or above. Buyers who are buying are still finding properties. Sometimes you don't win. Sometimes you go a week or two and you see some bad properties and you don't offer, which is okay, right? I'd rather you see enough properties to make a good decision than to see just a few properties and you make a bad decision, because that's my number one goal, is not to be the number one real estate agent that sells the most homes. Okay. I would love to do that. I would make a ton of money. That's not my background. I want to build a company that's sustainable many, many years after my time, and is here to serve you guys, give you guys real data, real knowledge, give you real feedback, do the best that we can per the knowledge that we have for any given market, and to always be honest with you guys on the data that we see. Okay. We can't make all the best decisions to always win, but we can always make a good decision based on what we see, so that your outcome in the future, if you're going to sell, you're buying right, you can sell right and make money. Okay. Robert Kiyosaki always says in his teaching lessons, you make money when you buy, not when you sell. I completely agree with that to a certain degree. Okay. If you buy right and you understand your numbers day one, even though you're paying a little bit higher, if you know when you're going to sell, you're going to make money. If you're buying year one and you're trying to sell year two, you're not going to make money. Okay. In most given markets right now, unless you bought like a decade ago. Okay. So I would say that, if you buy right, you can sell right, but you want to buy right. And sometimes you are fighting a little bit to win. However, that is from the coaching you get from your agent, whoever that is, that you hire. They're the ones that you go to get this information. If they're not teaching you what you need to know, I would assess your relationship, have a conversation with your agent. If it's not a good fit, you discuss your termination, and that's between you and your agent, and then you move on and find somebody else. Okay. Other agents cannot influence you and cannot tell you what to do when you're under contract. However, that is how it works. It's a valid conversation with your agent. If your experience is not good, let them know, and disperse, like again, get rid of that contract. If you don't serve them and they don't serve you and it's not a good fit, then cancel your contract and move on. Okay. But again, these are the numbers for this week. This is kind of what our real estate market is doing in Minnesota. In your market, it may be similar, it may be different. There is no crystal ball to know exactly what the market is doing. But if you're trying to buy, I would say that you want to buy right, because there is still a lot of competition. Some of the properties, I would agree with you guys, I feel like they're overpriced. Okay, I feel like they're a little bit higher than what the market yields. How do we determine that? When we do a comparable analysis, we call it a CMA, we analyze what's in the marketplace, what has been selling, what are the current prices, what is the high side, what is the low side, and then we price according to that. Some properties that I look at that I'm out there showing with my clients, we're looking at the CMA, and let's say, for example, the CMA is 350. Some of these listings are coming at like 385. I can't agree and I can't find comps, and I wouldn't let you buy it, but it is your choice as a buyer. But I do give that to my clients so they can understand that if we're going to make an offer, I'll run a quick CMA, show you what the values are doing, show you what you should or shouldn't do. You make the ultimate decision. However, I would give you that data when you're working with my team so you understand what you're buying day one. The lender that I work with also gives you the data for you to understand what is the APR today, what are my payments today, what are the total cash to close, so that I can make a good decision before we even write that offer. If you don't know these numbers before you write the offer, you would have a problem. And this will be because your lender, your agent are not doing their job showing you the data, because we're not here to tell you what to do. We're not here to push you to buy a home. We're here to help advise you along your journey, to give you guys the data you need in order to make a good decision for yourself. There is no such thing as a perfect decision or a perfect home, but you can make good decisions based on what you see today, what you're willing to pay for, how much cash to close it's going to cost, and does this make sense for you? Okay, so that when you make this decision, then you know that I'm holding it for X amount of time. And again, the going rate based on NAR is 3% per year on average. Okay, I would say you want to be safe, classified as 2% per year. Okay, most of my clients that I'm selling now, I see that they're between 5% to 10% cash out. Okay, in the last 5+ years. However, the market is like tight now, so depending on when you bought and when you're selling, you may be cashing out 5%, no, 3% or less. But if you're way under 3%, then maybe you have to go back to understand the price you pay for when you bought. Maybe you pay too much, right? So again, this is just an average out there, but there's so much that we can cover. We cannot stay on camera all day. Obviously, we don't have the time to do so. I have to get to another place quickly here as well. However, I just wanted to post this so that you guys can get this knowledge and information. We are going to be sharing this among YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So if you're watching this on Facebook, it'll be gone in 30 days. However, we do have this saved on my YouTube channel now. So hopefully I'll see you guys more on YouTube. Go up there and sign up so you guys can subscribe so you guys can see the latest posts. We will be posting every single week. Again, I do 2 postings a week on average. Real estate market update, and we do a real talk to talk about life situations, things that people go through, a little coaching tips on what people can do better in order to better their life. Because at the end of your journey, it is not about real estate. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about like all this glamour that you have. It's about who are you becoming? Are you finding your happy place? Are you where you should be in life, so that when your time is up, you have experienced the life that you're looking for? So these are the 2 videos that I post every week. Again, would love to see you guys more on my YouTube page. But I know this is only like the 2nd video that I've made. So again, I appreciate you guys and your time. Please like and share and comment wherever that is. I don't know if it's on this side or this side. Again, this is only my 2nd time using these channels. So hopefully I'll get better at these. But again, I'm no different than you guys. I'm just a local real estate agent, business owner that wants to help individuals out there just like you guys, to help you guys understand the buy process, understand the sell process. How do you transition correctly? If you're buying from scratch, how do you do that correctly? I've sold a lot of brand new bills. We're building one completely from scratch this year. Very first one that I've done from scratch of buying the land and doing all that stuff. So again, lots of things that you'll learn in our industry. However, I'm here to help you guys, to give you guys things to think about, help you guys understand the process so that you don't stress out and you don't lose money. My number one goal is to help you make money, help you understand what you're purchasing so you don't lose money. All right. So again, thank you guys. George Ng with Team LNG KW out of Roseville. Anything I can help you with or any topic you want me to cover, please comment below or to the side or whichever direction is on. Would love to bring the tips that you guys are looking for. And if I don't know the answer, I will go find the answer for you guys. Okay. That's one thing I can guarantee you guys, is that I don't have all the answers, but I'll find it for you guys. If you are asking a question that I've never heard of or something we haven't accomplished in our 10 years, if it's something that is non-traditional, I'll find out the answer and we'll do a video on that. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Again, if you don't see this video or if you want to see it and it's gone, go to my YouTube page and I'll post it on my Facebook as well. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys on Real Talk, and I will see you guys next Monday on my next post. All right. Bye-bye.